I imagine that's been kind of an enjoyable week for everyone. Good result last Saturday after a brilliant result on the Tuesday before, and obviously a big week to come.
Yeah, it's been nice to take a bit of a deep breath. I think it's been nice for the players to take that deep breath. It was a big run of fixtures that we've had, and then the boys have coped with it pretty well, to be honest. So it's you've got to take certain moments of the season to kind of regroup, refresh. But yeah, the boys are in a good place. You know, we've got a lot of things ahead of us that we kind of want to achieve as well. So it's more eyes on what's coming next and being ready for it.
Was the balance more sort of using the time on the training pitch or giving them a bit of downtime?
Totally a bit of both, really. Not loads of downtime, but I think just the fact that they've had a day or two to kind of not have to think massively about the next game and gradually build the week as we've gone. But certainly it's keeping the work on the training ground and keeping that playing that edge and building on the level of performance and what we feel that we're building on. So it's a bit of everything, but certainly all eyes on Saturday and being ready for that.
One thing, just going back to the Millwall game, fans and yourself in the game situation got a chance to have a look at Luke and Finn for the first time. What did you make of their performances?
Yeah, I thought they've both done well. I thought it wasn't an easy one. It's not an easy environment and an easy situation. I didn't think we were particularly at our natural kind of free-flowing best, so it wasn't like they both came into a top performance, and I thought they both had to show the quality and show the character as well in different ways, and I think it was pretty obvious what they both can bring to us, so I was delighted with them.
Looking forward to this weekend then. I suppose you guys know as well as anyone that Rotherham, any team in the Championship, really not to be underestimated.
Not at all. It's it's a dangerous, tough game as any. We found that when we played there not long ago, and the game, how it panned out, and the challenge that we'll face during the game. I think it's there for us, so we certainly got to be ready for it and respect what they are, what they're fighting for, and the position that they're in as much as us. You know, we're in a position where we're desperate to do well and desperate for points as much as anybody else. So we need to take that into the game.
Part of the job for yourself, the staff and the players is to be able to compartmentalise, but is that going to be easy this week when there is such a huge game waiting on the Tuesday?
It should be, yeah. I mean, it's the next game. It's massive. We've got everything to play for, you know, in the league, and we're in a position now that we've kind of built up over the course of the season where we are, and as I said, everything's next. What's next? Everything's to play for. So Tuesday is big, but it's for us as professionals and in our eye on the job. It's Saturday is everything for us in the month.
Finally, for me, obviously a couple of people in already in the January window. How do you view the rest of it? What would you like to see happen in the rest of it?
I think I'm happy with the squad we've got. I think we've got really good options. I think we're flexible. We can adapt. We've tweaked certain things and systems and slightly different ways of playing, depending on personnel, depending on opposition. So I think we're coming into that phase where we can do that in games. So the squad's getting stronger. Boys coming back fit and trying to keep the ones fit and fresh who have been part of it. So that's January, you know. I think we've built and we've strengthened it particularly well already. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know, sometimes it's in our control, as I've already said many times. Sometimes it's not. But at this moment in time, I'm happy with what we got.
Michael, how difficult is it for the players themselves to focus on 3 points against Rotherham and take their mind off, you know, what could be another visit to a League Cup final 20 years after the club's first major trophy? It's quite difficult, isn't it, for them to shut that off?
It is, but it's our job. It's what we're here for, you know. It's the next game's always the most important one, and as I said, the league's vital for us in terms of what we want to do and how we want to get success and where we want to end up. So, it's plain and simple. It's what we're here for, to play the next game with focus and to be at our best. And while that's prepare right mentally, physically, and knowing what challenge the game's going to face and not underestimate it, that's the part of the beauty of building a season in football.
I won't waste your time by asking you what the main priority is, one or the other, because it's obviously both. But presumably you will have to have an eye on both games in terms of who's looking tired, who might need protecting a little bit if they're sort of perhaps worried that they've perhaps got a knock or a potential muscle injury coming on.
no different to any other game, to be honest. Whether we play Saturday, Tuesday, it really doesn't make any difference to us. There's always decisions to make. I've got to have an eye on the next game, or what the next week looks like, or the balance of the squad, and freshness, fitness, what game suits certain individuals. That's doesn't change, because whatever game's on Tuesday night, that's just pretty much normal, really.
Can you update me on the latest with Latty Lat and Coburn?
Yeah, Josh is closer. Hopefully Josh is closer. He's improving, so we're hoping to have him around the group pretty soon. Manu, as you can imagine, is a little bit longer, so we're trying to get him back as soon as we can.
How much of a frustration has that been for you?
You've got to accept it, really. It's not ideal, Injuries are part of it. We've been unfortunate with what we'd say is too many this season, and we've dealt with it in a pretty good way to be where we are now in the competitions that we're in, trying to get the boys back. So it's no point getting frustrated or angry or anything about it. It's about bringing the best out of the players that we've got available and having a strong finish. And
the likes of Marcus Force getting on the score sheet, it's the whole squad and people coming up to the plate.
Yeah, delighted for Marcus. He's worked hard. He's been out for quite a long period of time, and he's come back looking strong and sharp. So yeah, he'll have a big impact as well for us.
Simon's mentioned Luke and Finn. Finn, obviously, there's been a lot of social media attention. It's sort of emerged that he did a certain amount of volunteering at a hospice when he was on loan at Plymouth. I merely mention it because does that say something about the character of the man and the sort of characters you want in the dressing room?
Yeah, I think it's a huge part of it. I've said it before. It's we're a football club, football team. We want good football, of course we do, but it's people's important, good people, and the right type of person, and we do a lot of work in that in terms of recruitment, and it's one of the first questions we ask. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Finn's terrific lad and desperate to do well, and obviously well grounded, and that's a great example of that.
And Borough have built up a big reputation over the last couple of decades on bringing young players forward. Hayden Hackney's been named by the North East football writers as their Young Player of the Year. Just another example of young players coming through the ranks and doing well. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I've sat here a lot and talked about Hayden over a long period of time now, and it's great that he's getting the rewards or the praise that he deserves, and there's so much more to come from him. He's hardly scratched the surface, really, being the age he's at, and so much opportunity in football ahead of him. So I'm really excited to see what he's capable of doing.
Certainly in front of us, and I'm sure behind the scenes you always keep a very level head, but this second part of the season has got potential to be really very exciting, hasn't it?
Yeah, it should do. It's the end of the season, and you want to be challenging for things, and you want to be as focused and as level as you can be, but at the same point you got to have that drive and that emotion and that passion to succeed, and when you get the taste of it, you've got to capitalise on it. So it's all ahead of us, as I keep saying, so it's a good time to be here, and but it's up to us to control and have a real impact on what's next.
And have you noticed an increase in fans coming up to you in the street and wanting to talk about the big games to come?
Yeah, but it's normal, it's normal that you want to be involved in big games, you want them to have an extra meaning, you want to have extra positivity around games, and it's what we're all in it for.
Thank you. Michael, with the championship being so close this year, obviously lots of teams around you, similar sort of points, is it a case of you and for others just putting a string of results together that would really see you climb up the table?
Yeah, it's so easy to say that again, though. It's everyone wants to put the run together, everyone wants to be consistent, and I've sat here again a number of times. Consistency is massive. Consistency is so important when you're striving for success in the league. So it's that's the ultimate challenge for us. We know what we're capable of, we know what we can do, and when we're at our best and close to our best, we need to put that together for a long period of time.
We mentioned Hayden Hackney there. Just how bright is his future, given the fact that he's already been recognised for an accolade such as this?
Yeah, it's all there for Hayden. I think we can all see that, of what he's capable of, how much he's improved in a relatively short space of time, and the way he keeps improving, more importantly, and still patient with him. He's still young, and he's still learning, and he's still developing. So really excited. He does all he can to improve. So we're there to help him and guide him best as we can.
You mentioned injuries to Josh and Manu there, Michael. Any of the other boys that have been out any closer?
Not really.
Still not really for them, no. On someone who has come back from injury recently, Matt Clark. I mean, we spoke at the start when he first came back about managing him because of obviously that 14 months that he did have out. From where I'm sitting, he seems he's done brilliantly since he's come back. I mean, has he exceeded in any way kind of your expectations for him on coming back after such a long injury?
Didn't really have expectations. I think it was really open minded, to be honest, for what Clark he's gone through, and I've not seen him perform or play for a long period of time, so it was a little bit of see how he got on. There was no pressure. I said it to you a while ago. There was no pressure on in terms of timelines or level of performance. It was a little bit of just gradually take it as it comes, and he's done fantastic. Clark, he started some games, he came on other games in tough situations and dealt with it unbelievably well. So yeah, really pleased for him.
Yeah, and when you talk about that kind of at first no expectations and things, with how well he's done, has that flipped somewhat? As he, is there now kind of more demand on him?
I wouldn't say demand. I think it's just like anybody else. There's obviously a level of performance that we're looking for, and I don't class Clarkey any different. He's been out a long time, but he's back now, and that's in the past really, and we just treat him like anyone else. I think he's earned that without doubt. Yeah,
but I guess that's the perfect scenario for him, because he was quite new to his Borough career when the injury occurred. We didn't really see much of him, fans didn't see much of him, and we spoke with him about that and the fact that he still felt he had to prove himself a bit at the club, and the fact that you are now seeing him as another one. He's not necessarily a bonus, or you're not necessarily looking at him differently. He is just in there now. That's probably exactly what he wants.
Yeah, that's why he's here. That's why he was brought to the club and he's certainly doing fantastic at the moment. So yeah, long may that continue.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously the injuries in the striker front. Marcus came back at the weekend. He scored a goal. He was signed initially as a natural centre forward, but kind of migrated over to the right under you. But does he remain somebody who you see, being able to do a role as a centre forward? Yeah,
I think I've just said it before. I think it's the options we got. So not pigeonhole anyone in a certain position. Sam and Morgan changed positions last week. Different stages of the game. Finn can play left, can play right. Crooksy can play up top, plays at 10 Mox, can play off the right. We've got good options, and it a little bit depends on the game and who's playing and partnerships. So yeah, they can all do a bit of that.
Yeah, what do you see as kind of Marcus's strengths in terms of whether he's playing on the right, whether he's centre forward? What makes him, the good player that he is?
He's got an eye for goal. He's a good finisher, Marcus. I think that shows. He hits the target a lot when he gets in. So he's. There's a little bit of both. Of when he plays wide, he can offer that, and he can find areas to get into. And certainly when he plays through the middle, he's played an awful lot as well. I'd say he's a goal scorer. He sniffs out the chances and he can put them away.
Cheers, mate.
Just asking about Lucas, Michael. He did an interview after the game on Saturday and was talking about maybe when he first came in, he fearful, maybe putting too much pressure on himself. I think back to that Sheffield Wednesday game, and I think he had a couple of games out afterwards. How did you handle that? How did you manage him in that couple of weeks? Did you sit him down after the Sheffield Wednesday game?
I don't know if I let sit him down. It was more, don't worry about it, Don't worry about it. You're a good player and you're here for a reason. So 1 week doesn't make the playoffs. I've sat here and said that enough times for you. A week or 1 month doesn't make the player. I think we try to see past that, and sometimes it's a really good and you kind of excel for a month, and sometimes you have a bit of a tougher time. So it's easy to judge too quickly, really. And credit to Lucas, he's done fabulous, and you can see him growing all the time. And to get his goal last week and being important part of the group as time goes on.
You've talked a lot about the importance of the dressing room and how good a dressing room you've got. How did the players deal with that for Lucas? Johnny as captain, for example, did he feel the need to pull him to one side and talk to him?
I think the boys support each other anyway. I think I've said it again so many times about the spirit in the group and looking after each other, and it's easy when you're winning games, everything looks after itself, but the lads look after each other, they have each other's back, and it's important that everyone feels that.
I think it was the Cardiff game when he assist, set up the goal early in the second half, and kind of from the outside looking in, it looked like you visibly saw the boost in him, and he's kicked on since. Did you see that in here? Did you see him start to grow in himself from that moment onwards?
I've seen it. I've seen it before that. To be honest, I think sometimes the setbacks are a good thing, really, and it teaches you a lot about yourself. It shows you can deal with it. It shows people around you how you deal with it, and they're never nice to go through, but sometimes they're the ultimate best learning lesson, really. And there's a human element to football, you know. The boys are never going to be at the very best, the most confident and most self-believing stage of the career every single day in every game. So it's important that we all understand that and are patient a little bit at times. Yeah, we'll strive for a performance ultimately in the end, but the boys are human. They do have ups and downs, and certain situations affect them. So we've got to support them and get the best out of them as much as we can.
On Saturday after the Millwall game, you talked about strikers and assessing Manu and Josh before deciding whether you maybe need to bring in another. How does that situation stand at the minute?
No, same. Nothing's changed, really. Nothing's changed. Josh is, as I said, hopefully he's not too far away at all. So, yeah, still the same.
And last one from me. When you talk there about, obviously Sam plays there, you've got Matt Crooks, Marcus can play there, Morgan's played up front. Will that be troubling for the opposition? I guess Rotherham coming on Saturday, not knowing whether it's going to be Marcus or Matt or Morgan or Sam who plays up front, that fluidity, versatility across the forward line is a strength for you and a problem for others, I guess.
Hope so, yeah. Yeah, I think the boys are all different. They all have different attributes, different strengths, excel in slightly different situations. So a little bit depends on what game, but the fact that we're able to tweak it in game as well and flip positions a little bit, and they understand both positions is we see it as a bonus. It's just trying to get the best out of it as much as we can, really. So, but yeah, on the flip side, it's not always easy. So only certain players can deal with that. It's different surroundings on the pitch. It's not always easy to just flip quite quick, but fortunately we've got some of the players at the top end that are able to do that.